Booyah! What up, you guys? Welcome back to another one of these videos. Today we're gonna talk about Mister Babache juggling rings, all right? And a few things that you should know if you want to get them before you're gonna get them, all right? Now, I just want to start off by saying this is not sponsored. This is not a sponsored video. Mister Babache doesn't pay me anything. I never got anything from Mister Babache. So this is just my own personal opinion. All right, cool. Now, I use these juggling rings. I use Mister Babache 40 centimeter juggling rings. But there's a few things that you know. One of the things is when you buy, this is what you get. This is 40 centimeter white Mister Babache juggling ring. And they're good. I think they're very affordable. They're cheap price and they last really long time. I've had few people telling me that they broke a ring. I've had like the yellow ones were the first one that I got like maybe 17 years ago or something like that, and I still have all of them. None of them have broken. One thing like with every plastic is they may break in winter if it's really super cold and you just take them and bam, smack them together or something like that. They can break easily. But once they get warm, it's always like with plastic, with hard plastic, when it gets really cold, it can have a weakening effect of the plastic. But I've never had that problem. I've never broken any of my juggling rings, and I've used them a lot. All right, so the few things, when it comes out of the box, like this is what you get. This is unused Mister Babache juggling ring. And sometimes it's not good. Sometimes it actually sucks when it comes out because there's this like the lines that when you have two pieces and you put them together, you have this line here and also on the inside of the ring. And sometimes it's very big, it's very sharp. You can cut yourself in it, and it feels very bad. It feels painful in a sense. It is not good. Okay. So that is random. It's completely random whether you get it or not. So sometimes you can get and it's very smooth. And sometimes you can go around and you feel like, oh, there's. You can hear that. So there's some of these edges. So you have to like go around and see here. You have a small edge. Yeah. So it can be very painful. It can be very bad for your hands. And also what I don't like is the surface, the shiny surface, which actually it rips off your skin very easily, especially if you do high numbers without any gloves or anything like that. When you have the rings, you have it between your fingers, it can rip off the skin very easily because it's so sticky in a sense. So what I like to do, you can juggle with this right away, but I like to take sandpaper and I like to sand it. Just take all the shyness away, take all this thing away and make them sort of like matte. It's sort of like if you use your rings, after a few years, they will start to look like that. The shyness goes away and you have this nice smooth surface. I like that and I like to do it right away. And it feels amazing in your hands. It feels so much better. It's almost like softer, nicer touch feeling. It's always, the release feels much better. You don't have any of the sharp edges. This is something that I teach in my online juggling course, but it's very simple. You just take a very fine sandpaper, all right? You just sand both sides and the edges and the inside, and that's it. And then you wash the ring, right? You want to get all the dust away, you just wash it in water. Cool. That is how you prepare your rings. Now, before, like this is long time ago, years and years ago, it used to be a difference if you put a white ring. The white ring was very stiff and a little bit more heavy, and the colored rings like this, the orange and the yellow one, they were much more soft, all right? So that's why this is super soft and this is not that soft. But it's not the case anymore. Nowadays, I don't see that big of a difference. I think they used to, maybe they mixed, like they had the white ring and then they mixed some color into it. So it's sort of like got a little bit softer, and that's how they made the rings. I'm not sure. But that's how it was before, like in the early 2000s when I bought my first rings. It was like the white ones, they're very stiff, they're very big, they're very heavy. And the colored ones, they were almost seemed like a little bit thinner. Not probably the case, but they just felt more flimsy, you know, like that. not as flimsy like those like play juggling rings, the big ones. They were super flimsy, but you can do this kind of stuff with them. I don't do because I don't like that kind of stuff with my rings. That's not my style, but yeah, you can also do these, but beware that they're not what it's meant for. They can get into shape like that. Anyways, yeah, but I don't think there's a problem anymore with them. I think they changed how they prepare the rings and the material and everything. So now it's always going to be the same no matter what color you buy, which is a good thing because then it was like, or what I'm going to do with them, or I want to juggle them, or you want to do some other kind of stuff. What do you want to do? Pancakes. It's a different for pancakes because it's almost looser. So these are not so good for pancakes. These were good. But now it's all the same. Now you can just buy any color and it's going to be the same. Now, if you can see this, the yellow ones were my first ones. Then I got the orange ones. All right, so these were my second pair. And these are actually very worn and torn. Like I never grinded these before, but you can see they look like they're like sandpapered. But no, it's just actually wear and tear. I used them a lot. And this is, well, obviously you can't feel it because it's a video, but this I've sandpapered and I actually make a double-sided ring myself. So you can make this if you want for yourself. Yeah, it's a paint. I don't tape, I paint my rings. And if you know how you do it, it will stay there for a long time. And I made a video about this in my juggling course, but yeah. So you can do all this kind of stuff with the Mister Babache rings as well. So you can do some color changing rings for yourself, so any color you want. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just knowing, like, at least for me, now when I buy new rings, and the white ones I needed for a show, I needed white rings because I had a super dark background, so I didn't want to have dark rings. And I felt those neon colors, they just weren't what I wanted, so I really wanted the white ones, so I got the white ones. But the first things I did, sandpaper. Like, I think that you have to do it. It just makes them so much better. It's a shame that they don't come like that, especially the edges. I don't care about the shyness and the feeling. That's more a personal thing. I think it's much, much better after you sand it, so it's like matte. But the edges, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's horrible. And I think it's like that with many rings. So it's not just Mister Babache. But yeah, other than that, I think they're fantastic. Now when it comes to the size, you got the 40 centimeter rings, you got the 32 centimeter, and I think it's 24 or something, the tiny one. Those are like, especially the smaller one, it's just for if you want to do like multiplex throws. That's when it comes useful. Other than that, the smallest one is not good. When it comes to having the normal one, the 32 centimeter or the 40 centimeter, these, I think they look nicer. They look much better on stage. They're much bigger. They're massive, but it's also much harder. Everything is much harder with these. Like the only thing that I could think of would be better with these is some of the shoulder rolls, especially the back rows one. But still, people do it more with smaller rings than with big rings. So I think the only reason for use this is if you want your rings to look bigger, if you want your juggling patterns to look bigger, all right? But just know that it is much harder. Big rings, big responsibility. No, it's just hard. Okay, it is more heavy. You need more power. You need more strength. You need more speed. It will hurt more because it's more heavy. Yeah, it is just much more difficult. Everything with the big rings is more difficult. So I don't recommend them unless you want your patterns to look very big. All right, that's the only reason. But yeah, I highly recommend Mister Babache rings. I use them all the time, but just know you have to do something with them. And just like with any juggling props, you want to clean them every once in a while. You want to wash them because even if you do the sandpaper thing, if they get dirty, if they get sweaty and dirty, they will get sticky. And when it comes sticky, they will take off the skin from your fingers. All right? Just so you know. And I don't like that skin goes off here. Yeah, I don't personally like that. But yeah, that's it. Obviously, you can tape your fingers. You can use gloves if you want. I don't use gloves. I don't tape my fingers. So I like to keep them do everything else that I can, not hurting. Plus, it feels good, the feeling. But yeah, that is it. Just the thing to know that you may have to, especially if you don't want to put the sides, you have to sandpaper the inside and the outside of the ring if there is some of these sharp things. All right, cool. That is it. Do I have anything else to say? Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, please comment below. Remember to subscribe. Remember to watch my videos. And if you want to learn more about this kind of stuff, if you want to learn more about juggling technique, definitely check out my Juggling Mastery, the ultimate online juggling course. There's way over 400 videos. I think it's like 70 or 80 hours of video lessons, juggling tutorials, all that kind of good stuff. So definitely check that out. I'll link it below. That's it. So Mister Babache juggling rings, very, very good quality, last for a long, long, long time. But sometimes you want to sandpaper them a little bit. Or if you're like me, you want to always sandpaper your rings. And remember to clean them, remember to wash them so they will last longer and look nicer. And also they don't hurt your skin so much. Cool, that is it. Mister Babache! Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next... I was going to say lesson, it's not a lesson, it's video. I'll see you in the next video.